Amber's saying, are childbirth classes that beneficial? Amber, that's totally up to you as a person. If you feel very comfortable, that you don't really need a lot of help, you know what to expect, and you know how to breathe through labor, and you know you're very confident in that ability, then you probably don't need to take a childbirth class. If you're somebody that's like, okay, I'm a little bit scared of kind of everything, and I don't really know what to expect, and maybe this is first baby, yeah, childbirth classes can be amazing. And again, it depends on what you're looking for. Are you looking to have a medicated delivery with an epidural, or are you looking to have an unmedicated delivery? Maybe you're looking to do hypnobirthing or some kind of breathing exercises. It also depends on what you know about afterwards. So a lot of childbirth classes, like birth courses, will cover, you know, how to go in and do the labor and the delivery portion, but does that course also cover newborn care? If you're going to breastfeed, does it cover breastfeeding? Because those are like the biggest struggles. A lot of times we think when we're on this pregnancy journey, like pregnancy is like this long, and then the birth process is this long, and those are the things we're preparing for. But the reality is the postpartum journey is much longer, and there's a lot more that you don't know about if you don't know about it. So if you've already had a baby before, you probably know what to expect. But if you've never had a baby before, there's going to be a lot of hurdles that come up that if you take a childbirth course that has all of those aspects included in it, can be really beneficial, not just for going through the birth and going through delivery, even if you're planning for a medicated delivery, but it can be there and be helpful for you afterward when issues come up, when things happen with your baby that you just don't quite know what to do. If you're feeding, if you're breastfeeding, even if you're formula feeding, you know, there's going to be questions that come up. Babies get sick. Sometimes it's nice to have a resource if you're going through struggles postpartum. Your recovery. A lot of times mamas have questions about recovery after delivery. And yes, your doctors are there that you can call them, but you're not seeing them as frequently. You're not going in for visits as often. Really, you go in for your 6-week visit, and that's kind of it. You go to your pediatrician for your few visits, but the day-to-day stuff, if you are looking for, if you're someone who wants to do a childbirth course, I recommend finding one that covers all aspects and not just the birth process, because there's a whole lot more to it than birth. But yes, there's lots of people benefit from taking a childbirth class. Again, if you're super comfortable with babies and with birth, and maybe you've been through experiences with someone else and you don't feel like you need it, just go with your gut. If you don't feel like you need it, then you probably don't need it. I personally think they're great, and I think I think everyone should take one. But that's of course me knowing that I see lots of people come in unprepared, and I think a lot of it is their expectations aren't met. So when you take a childbirth course, you know what to expect. When you don't really know what to expect, and you might be relying on things like movies or other people's stories, and people always tell the worst stories. So I think when you take a childbirth class, it's a great time for you to be able to see the positives that you know people experience every single day, the good things that happen, and not focus on all the bad things, because there are some bad things that can happen, sure, but that's not what you need to be thinking about when you're getting ready to go have a baby. You need to be focused on the positives and the good things.